All right. So, welcome back to another talk on a bench, hey? I like these. So, in this video, I'm going to discuss a lot of different topics. I found an old journal from earlier on in my journey, and I was loving what I was writing back then. There were some gold nuggets that I want to dig up here for all of us. So feel free to listen. There's nothing really on this visual, this video that you need to see. But I transcribed from my old journal into my new journal a lot of the points that I wanted to discuss. So we're just going to talk about a lot of gold nuggets, really. Hopefully you get something from this. I would love to hear in the comments, what are some of the things that you hear through this, right? Through my personal journey of just remembering more and more truth, it comes through in little pieces, and then I puzzle all those pieces together, right? And that's kind of what this is. It's going over a lot of different pieces. You are needed by the entire world. What level of fulfillment is on the other side of your denial? A lot of times I've held myself back because I didn't think I was polished enough or presentable enough for the world. And a lot of times it's been my fears of being stoned, burned at the cross, hung, dying, shamed, right? Getting rotten tomatoes thrown at me for just not being good enough. But those are all fears, those are stories. And you know, I know you've heard this, a lot of people talk on this, we're all storytellers, right? Storytelling is how we communicate and express emotions as humans. Well, we tell ourselves stories in our head all day. I'm good enough. I'm not good enough. This is going to work. It's not going to work. Like, we're telling stories in every moment. So what kind of a storyteller are you? Is always a question I like to ask myself. So I'm going to read that again. You are needed by the entire world. What level of fulfillment is on the other side of your denial? And so when I'm denying myself the opportunity to express, to share, to start a new business, to enter a new relationship, whatever I'm saying, nah, maybe not, because the ego, the shadow, is trying to keep me safe. I'm denying myself something. What level of fulfillment is on the other side of that denial? This is big for men. A lot of times we deny the fact that we are broken. We deny the fact that we need help. We deny the fact that the world is begging for us to show up. So we play small. We don't show up and work on ourselves. We don't ask for help. And we don't answer the call that the women and children of this world are begging for us to show up. So that's a good question there for any men listening. Are you denying any of those things in your own life? Are you being real with yourself, or are you lying to yourself? What pains have I felt that I want to support other men in moving through? This is a great question for all of us to ask as men, because normally when we have moved through something, that's medicine that we pick up. Because we got to the other side of it, we now have medicine that we can share with other men. We have the antidote. So share this stuff with the other men in your life. Feeling like I need to prove myself to other men instead of simply being. That's a big one. It's deep in our DNA to have this desire to be accepted by the tribe, to be a valued member, not to be the dumb one, the moron, right? The retard. Like, no, we don't want that. We want to be respected by the men around us. However, once we acknowledge that, then we can see that our true acceptance, acknowledgement, love comes from self. And then men see that and they say, I see you. I honor you, brother. This man respects himself, so I respect him. That's huge for men. So stop worrying about what men think about you and just be you. Because again, you've got medicine that all the other brothers need. Allow leadership. It is in you. The world is asking for your best shot. So take your shot, man. A lot of times I've held myself back from leading, whether it's in my relationship, my own personal life, business, whatever it is. I've limited the leadership because I didn't think I was good enough. But the leadership is always in us. You know, as a young man in the military, I was forced to lead, and eventually I had 30 other troops underneath me, my direct command. And in life-threatening situations, their lives rested on my shoulders. So I had to learn to lead, and I found that the leadership was already in me. I just had to do it, right? So wherever you feel like life is asking you to lead, just do it. You will learn from doing it. I'm gonna zoom in here because I don't know if you can see me that well. There we go. And so if you feel like, yeah, life is asking you to lead, just do it. You'll get better at it, right? And I'm speaking to myself too, because every day there's an opportunity to lead. Allow peace. It is already inside of you. There's no effort needed. Simply give yourself the permission to experience it. Peace comes from your very being, that peace that surpasses all understanding. Sometimes we look for peace on the outside of us, but the peace, just like our worthiness, it just is. My older brother, Benjamin, he's a genius, man. He shared this with me not too long ago, how he's been tapping into peace on the inside like it's a river, and it's at the very bottom of every emotion. And he can always just slide into the river of peace. It's like a lazy river at an amusement park, right? Water park. You just slide into that lazy river of peace and just float. It's not on the outside of us, it's on the inside of each and every one of us. That peace that surpasses all understanding. It doesn't make sense why I should feel peace right now, but I have the peace. I am the peace. A mantra that has helped me so much in my life is, I am a wave of peace on the ocean that is God's peace. And I think about God's peace being the ocean, the great, extensive, expansive ocean and its depths, and I'm just a little wave of peace. And I just think about that, like that wave is part of that ocean. It's not separate. So I am a wave of peace on the ocean that is God's peace. I am a wave of peace on the ocean that is God's peace. I love that one. A quote from the Buddha that I really like is, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." I call this the meaning-making machine. What are we giving meaning to? What we give meaning to, we create. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. So let's break this down. In order to create, you need resources. Let's take two resources, time and thought. Mom told you when you were a kid not to touch the stove. Time plus thought equals belief. Belief equals reality. Let me back up. When mom told you not to touch the stove as a kid, this happened for most of us, right? That taught us that, oh, the stove is hot, right? It took time and it took thought to say, oh, the stove is hot. And we gave that meaning, right? It created a belief. The time and the thought that it took in that experience when mom said, don't touch the stove, you'll get burned, that created a belief. That belief created our reality. What do you spend your time thinking about is a good question. Because then it's like, that's what you're creating, right? So what do you spend your time thinking about? What are you creating? Change our thoughts, we change our beliefs. We change our beliefs, we change our results. So a question I have for you is, do you believe that your beliefs need to change in order to change your results? I'll say it again. Do you believe that your beliefs need to change in order to change your results. If you keep believing the same thing about life, do you think your life will ever change? So what meaning are you attaching to your thoughts, your time, and your beliefs? Maybe it's time for a resource audit, okay? If we have time and we have thought, what am I thinking about every day? What am I spending my time on? Is there a connection between what I think about, what I spend my time on, to my reality? If you can see a connection there, then boom, you've got the formula. Start auditing, taking inventory of how you're spending your thoughts, how you're spending your time. Align those with what you desire, and you will see your life change. Like, this is simple Barney style stuff, but it works. This is stuff I was writing down when I first started to change my life. And I have carried this with me for the past 5 years of massive transformations with this simple formula. Another question is, what do you believe about your pain and your fear? What is your identity in this? Who, which is your identity, are you? Who are you? Because here's the thing. If you identify with your pain and you identify with your fear, then you become your pain. You become your fear. But here's the trick. If you create some separation between it and say, I'm going to take inventory and write this stuff down, right? Journaling is powerful. What do I believe about my pain? And just start writing it down. Like, maybe first write down, what is my pain? What is my fear? What hurts me? What am I afraid of? And then underneath those, write down, what do I believe about this? So you now have clarity of what you're afraid of, what's causing you pain in your life, and now you have clarity of what you believe about those things. To get to a new point in our life, we have to take inventory of this stuff. This is where the business side of life takes place, is the business of self, right? We have to get this stuff on paper. Because then when you see that your beliefs, what your beliefs are, if your beliefs don't align with what you want, who you choose to be, then you say, okay, well, what's creating these beliefs? And then you go back to the two resources: time, how are you spending your time, and thoughts, how are you spending your thoughts? You change how you spend your time, you change what you think about. That's going to change your beliefs. Your beliefs create your reality. So now you got a new reality. Woo! I like that one. You might need to rewind this, go back to this. You can also download the link to this YouTube video and transcribe it, plug it into ChatGPT and say, pull out some of the highlight conversations from this conversation and show me what you suggest will help me create new habits in my life, or something like that. With AI and software and everything, we can do personal development with so much more consistency and support than we ever have before. Ooh, this stuff fires me up because it works. I use these frameworks for every single client I work with. Are you living by design or are you living by default? Meaning, is your life just happening, or are you designing your life with intentionality, with awareness? After you go through the process I just laid out, that question will be a lot clearer to you. Or the answer to the question, are you living by design or by default, will become clearer to you. Another way to think about this is, are you taking action in your life or are you active in your life? This is something that one of my old mentors, Taylor Thompson, taught me back in 2020, was there's a difference between taking action in our life, because taking action is in alignment with our goals, right? I want to heal my gut. Okay, I'm going to fast, I'm going to cleanse, I'm going to be consistent. Here's the actions that get me there. Versus I'm active in my life. That's more like busy. Oh, I'm trying to fast, I'm trying to cleanse, trying to eat healthy. I'm just trying to do better. Like, that's active. Action is in alignment with our goals. It's based off of a plan. There's structure around it. That's the masculine side of life, right? Then the feminine side, the energy flows through that structure and we create our goals. The union, the masculine and the feminine have to go together. The structure and the life force, the energy, the excitement, the love, all of that. The energy is the feminine, the structure is the masculine. Those two go together. Through action, you change your life. But in active, if you're just active, if you're just busy, the feminine's like, yo, I'm trying to create here. I got all this energy, but where's the structure? It's lacking the masculine. So this is for both you men and you women. If you feel like you're just active in your life and you're not taking specific action, then your inner king is probably suffering. Your inner masculine energy isn't supporting the queen's desire to create, because the inner queen, she wants to create. She is the life force. It's never enough for her. She says, let's create more, more beauty, more life, more babies, let's go. But she needs the structure to be able to do that from the masculine. So some questions. What do you want? Do you want to rise above a conditional life of default experiences? Have you ever held the magic wand, breathed deep, and waved it? Here's what I mean by this. You can live a conditional life of just default experiences. And that's what most people that you see on this life are doing. This is why it's one of the easiest times in human history to rise above the masses, to really stand out and see your unique value amongst the masses. Because most of the masses are just living conditional experiences, living on default. When I say, have you held the magic wand, breathed deep, and waved it, that's what I ask every single not purple person, but every single person I work with. If you had a magic wand in your hand, tell me what you want, and you can just wave it. What do you want? Most people are like, oh, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. That was my answer when I was first asked that question back in 2020. My first mentor asked me, what do you want? And I said, shit, I don't even know. I've been too busy surviving and just trying to mitigate risk, trying to live a good life, that I don't even know what I want. That changed, and that's why my life changed. So it's important to take some time with your magic wand and sit there and say, what do I want? What's important to me? There's a line between the things around you and the things you truly want. This is key, so let's think deep on this one. There is a thin line between the things around you, the default life, and the things you truly want. Opportunities, dreams, purpose, aligned soul connections, one-of-a-kind freedom. This only comes when you start living by design and you drop the default. So this goes back to that again. All these opportunities and these dreams, let's start with opportunities. A lot of times we have opportunities around us, but are they the opportunities that align with us? Do we know who we want to be? Have we sat with that magic wand and said, this is who I want to be? Have we gotten clear on our goals? Because once we get clear, then we can say, okay, does this opportunity align with that? Yes or no. Now you have a more refined way of making decisions in your life. Now you're living by design, not default, because you know what you want. You've gotten clear. And I'm going to lay this out in a more clear framework towards the end of this. And then I'm going to put a PDF under this video so that you can see this stuff on paper, right? Because I'm not doing screen share or anything right now, because I'm sitting out in nature, baby, because I like to do this. And people walking by like, who's that guy talking? Well, I'm talking about some good stuff. Don't worry about it. All right, next. Everything around you is a gas gauge or a thermometer, if you will. It's an indicator of your energy, your life force. It's a constant feedback system telling you that you create it all with your mind. So look around you in your life, the people in your life, the relationships, your finances, the way you think about yourself, right? Let's go back to the beginning of this video, the stories that you tell yourself. When you think about all that, that's your indicator of your energy. Is it super vibrant? Is it kind of staticky, chaotic, jumpy? Is it consistent or is it crazy? This physical experience is a physical manifestation of our energy signature. This is why I'm huge on physical optimization of the body, physical detox, clearing all the blockages, animal products, animal DNA, getting that all out of the body, getting the seed oils out of the body, getting the intestinal waste out of the body, healing, correcting, realigning the health of the organs and the glandular systems so that this technology, this hardware that we've been given, this vehicle that we drive around in life with, operates fine-tuned, right? It's tuned very finely to operate well. This is why I'm passionate about that. Because once that happens, we start to have a clear energy signature. And because this all comes from our energy signature, the more refined our energy becomes, the more refined our physical experience becomes. It's that simple. It's that simple, baby. So take inventory of what's around you and then say, okay, my life's crazy, it's chaotic. Maybe the stories in my head are a little chaotic. Maybe my beliefs around my own self are chaotic. Maybe the way I'm feeding my body is chaotic. Maybe the way I'm moving my body is inconsistent, chaotic. And maybe chaotic is not the best word to use because I don't think chaotic is a bad thing. Chaotic is just not consistent, right? It's not steady. And then from that place of taking inventory, you can kind of say, okay, maybe I should make some tweaks in this area and that area. And remember, what did I say earlier? It's about action, not being active. So go small, baby, slow, small, easy steps, but like make a change. You can always shift from there, but okay, maybe my life is crazy right now. I don't know how to fix it. Stop. Don't get lost in the, I don't know, there's too many areas. Because you'll stay stuck if you allow yourself to be there. So stop, breathe, and realize that the future and the past, they don't exist, remember? It's just right here, and right now is okay. Nothing, you're watching a video right now, you're safe, right? Everything's okay. Don't think about the future, don't think about the past. Right here, right now. When you take inventory, what is one area that you think needs to become more consistent, more whole, more peaceful? If it's your body, detoxing your body, changing your diet, figure that out. DM me, comment on this video, detox. We'll talk about how I can support you detoxing. Go self-educate, learn how to change your diet into something that works for you. But just take one small step. That starts to tune your energy frequency, your signature, to more refinement. Now that you've turned that knob a little bit, so the static is a little bit less, the signal's a little bit clearer, that momentum slowly starts to roll, and now you're gonna tune to a different area and another area, and you're gonna start changing your frequency. It's not the concept of do it all overnight. How am I gonna get there? Forget that thought process of how am I gonna get there? You're here right now. What are you gonna do about it? This is how you change. This is how I've changed and how I've helped hundreds of people to do it as well. It works. All right, purpose. And I really hope that you guys are getting something out of this. I'm not going too fast. This is like a little bit of a rampage. When I get rolling, but I've just got multiple notes on different topics, all good shit that I just wanted to put in one video and share with you. That's really what this is. So if you need to pause this and come back to this, do it. Purpose, it's not just some grand overarching life focus. You have purpose right now at your current stage in life. What is asking for your presence right now? And can you allow that to be your purpose? I see this a lot, especially with men, right? I work with men that sometimes don't know their purpose. And they're like, man, I don't know my purpose, so I struggle. And they're kind of in this illusionary or illusory or fog of their life where they're like, I don't know what action to take because I don't know my purpose yet. Here's the steps to finding out your purpose, at least how I found out my purpose. In 2023, I downloaded my purpose. I remembered it. But how did I get to that point? By choosing to have purpose in the moment. What's the purpose right now? Because there's a purpose in each moment. There's not just a purpose for my life. This moment has a purpose. What is being asked for your awareness right now? Is it to breathe deeper in your diaphragm, stretch your ribs out, your lower back, your abdomen, breathe into your genitals and feel grounded for a second? Is that the purpose? Your purpose in this moment? Maybe it's pausing this video and going to take a piss, right? Maybe that's your purpose. Maybe that's asking for your awareness right now. But you get the concept. You can find your purpose in each and every moment. And as long as you make this a habit, you will undoubtedly come across your life's purpose. And that's a beautiful remembrance. I'm excited for you to find your life's purpose if you haven't already. And if you have, fuck yeah, brother or sister, fuck yeah. Make sure you're showing up for it. Make sure you don't forget it. Ooh, this is a good one for the men. Regardless of what she wants, what do you want? Are you seeking comfort or are you seeking your vision? We all have a vision. Once we get clear on our purpose, we have a vision. And again, this goes back to the micro purpose or the grand overarching purpose. But let's just take the micro purpose for talk's sake. If you know right now that your purpose is to get up, pause this video, get up and go take a piss, well then your vision is, I'm gonna breathe, I'm gonna pause this video, I'm gonna feel good about what I'm doing, then I'm giving myself time to go piss and I'm gonna go piss. That's your vision for carrying out that purpose, right? Very small example. If your purpose is to create a refugee center for people in a third world country that need food and shelter and safety, well then you have a vision of how that's going to take place, and that's where you work towards in your daily life. That's your vision for life, right? So when I say regardless of what she wants, what do you want? Are you seeking comfort or your vision? It is great for us to serve our women. It's actually a big part of my life's purpose, is to serve my wife. I came here to play a very specific role in her life and to build with her. She's not just tagging along on my ship, sailing where I'm sailing, being my first mate, my queen. We're doing this for each other's missions and visions, right? So there is a part of my life where it does matter what she wants. But even deeper than me serving her and being attuned to and caring about what she wants, I have to be grounded in what do I want? What is my purpose? What is my vision for fulfilling that purpose? So my check, my gauge for myself is the question, am I seeking comfort or am I seeking vision? Because I know what my vision is. So if I'm sitting there at any given moment, because the moment's all there is, right? Right here, right now. Am I seeking to maybe eat too much food, to just watch TV, to masturbate? Is there something that I'm just seeking just to feel comfort? Or am I actually going to seek that fulfillment from seeking my vision, from serving my purpose and my vision? And so this is a big one for men. In order to fully hold that presence for our woman and to serve what's important to her, we have to be rooted in what's important to us. And you can only do that if you know what you want. So go back to that magic wand, take some time. And I just want to backtrack this real quick. This all goes back to the resources. And maybe starting off with your list of what am I most afraid of? What is causing me the most pain in my life? What's my biggest joy in life? What do I want the most? You write down questions. Whatever question your soul is wanting the answer to right now, write it down. And then go back and say, what do I believe about these things? When you have your beliefs, then you can go back to how are you spending your resources, spending your time and spending your thoughts. You correct those to create new beliefs. If your belief is in alignment with your goal, then your actions aligned with your belief, those three you win. Let me break this down for you. My goal is to be 200 pounds by the end of the year, 10% body fat. Okay, what's my belief around this? Well, I don't think it's possible. Oh, well, guess what? I'm not gonna reach the goal. So my belief has to be, I think it's possible, or I know it's possible. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take asking for help, education. Okay, cool. I've got my goal. I've got the beliefs around that goal. Now, what are the actions? Those have to align with the other two. My action is putting in hard work, asking for help, being consistent, getting up even when I fail, right? If those three are in a line, your goal, your belief about the goal, and the actions you take to serve those beliefs, you will fucking win every time. And remember, even if you don't win based off your standards, you collect solid data that you now take back, put back into that system, and refine it. We cannot fail if we just keep showing up, giving ourselves grace, and going back to the basics. This is why writing is so important, because you get what's in your mind, what your soul is trying to say through your mind and your heart onto paper, and you can start to make sense of it, right? At least as a man, this is what works for me. Maybe women, maybe this doesn't work for you as well. And as men, it's very good to be clear on what is your purpose, your vision for that purpose, and then your mission that serves the vision. So you have your grand overarching purpose. I'm a spirit, a soul that came to this world to do this. Cool, my vision for this. Boom. My mission is the way that I'm going to create that vision. This is another great one I was just talking about, but a little bit deeper. Write out what you feel. Then pick words to categorize your feelings. So I did this a lot when I went through my first divorce, and I was in a lot of pain. And I didn't know how to make sense of it. I needed clarity on what I was feeling, so I would just write out. And then afterwards, I would say, okay, clearly I'm feeling uncertainty, I'm feeling lack, I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling abandonment, whatever it is. And then you can say, is this in alignment with who I want to be? So for instance, I remember giving my energy to, because I didn't want the divorce, right? And I was like, is my wife gonna come back? Can I work this out? I'm so afraid that she's gonna shut me out forever and then I can't fix this. I remember writing those words down, and then I went back and labeled it, well, that's fear, that's lack, that's uncertainty, and I choose not to live in that. That's outside of my control. I don't want to live in the frequency of that. So I'm certain I'm showing up right now. The uncertainty of, will this work out? Can I save this marriage? That's not something I'm going to dwell on. I'm going to be certain that I'm investing in myself. I'm becoming a better man. I'm treating her with as much love as possible to heal this relationship. Oh, I'm afraid this isn't going to work out. Well, you know what? I'm not afraid that I'm not going to show up, because I know I'm going to show up. I'm not afraid that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen, because it's going to happen, right? And I started to correct those things. So to bring that back into an applicable step that you can take from this video is write down what you feel, and then start to pick words that categorize what you just wrote down. That helps you get clear on if that's something you want to continue or not. All of this stuff, this is just my version of what's impacted me, right? Some notes I've taken. All of the truth is inside of you, me, everyone. How do we tap into that? Well, we clean the vessel. We allow the physical body to catch up. Right now, there's so much in our heads, but the intelligent lives in the body and then is processed through the mind. So to allow yourself the space to catch up, you've got to cleanse the body, right? Clearing the conduit, the channel, to receive the signal or the codes that's within you. This is why I'm big on the physical detox, guys, and getting the animal distorted DNA out of our body. Human DNA is far closer to plant DNA than it is animal DNA. Animal DNA is one of the biggest psyops that distorts us from our remembrance. You don't need it for nutrients. You don't need it for anything. The only thing you need it for is being disconnected from your deepest level of codes of remembrance. That's it. That's it. Yes, it's about not killing animals. It's about letting animals live in peace, not our enemies, right? Not our slaves. Yes, it's about all these things health-wise, yes, but even deeper than the health of us and the animals, it's about the remembrance of our origin. And we can only remember that through refined human DNA. So that's my message to you at the core of all of this, is tap into your codes, your remembrance. Hopefully something I said on this video sparked some remembrance in you. And if the only thing you take from it is to go start fasting and cleansing your body and eating cucumbers and watermelons and drinking distilled water and cleansing the waste, the forgetfulness out of your bowels so that you start to remember, if that's the only thing you take from this video, then that makes my fucking day. Yeah, I got some good stuff written down here. I'm gonna save for a different video. All right, yeah, I would love to hear in the comments if you got any value from this, and if you want to expound or add to any of these topics. That's it for today. Big love, guys. I will catch you on the other side.